the community has spoken, and you guys wanted to see fajitas on a budget, so that's what I'm going to do. And I wanted to do this in two different styles. I wanted to pretend as if you're, doing fajitas for one. This is 3/4 of a pound of skirt steak for $7.69. I'm going to have all the prices of each item as it comes up, so that at the end of all of this, I'll have a total. Now, if you're going to do fajitas on a budget for your family, maybe say 3, 4 people, I picked this up. This is $22.49 for 2.4 pounds of skirt steak. So that's why I wanted to do two cooks, so you can kind of get a running total at the end, what you're going to end up at for your budget. Now, even though we're doing a budget cook for these fajitas, I chose to do a marinade. These are going to soak for about 3 or 4 hours in these ingredients. And I've already got this already done, so you don't have to see me fumble through getting ingredients measured out and set up, because I do not claim to be a chef. Now, if you just wanted to do a rub on these and let them sit for about 20 minutes, that'd be fine too, and you'd cut out a lot of cost on the marinade. But I have got Uncle Steve's Shake American SPG. Shout out to Uncle Steve for sending me his lineup. I'm going to do the marinade. I'm going to add the SPG on all of this, and I'll give you the cost as I go so we can keep track of that. Now, when it comes to these, I picked these up at HEB. These don't have a lot of exterior fat on them, so there's not a lot to trim, probably nothing to trim off of these, so it's not much work. So I'm just going to get these out, lay them up here on the cutting board. I'm just going to check them out for a second. Looks like it came in 2 pieces, which is fine. I actually want to do pieces about this big. It's just easier to manage. So I'm probably going to just take this, cut it right in half. So this will give me 3 pieces to work with. And I've measured out the ingredients is for about 2 pounds, which is what I have, is a little more than 2 pounds of meat, which is fine. So I'm just going to go ahead and set these in here. And you can do this in a couple different ways. I failed to pick up some larger Ziploc bags, which would have made this a lot easier, because you could put all this in a bag, put the ingredients, mix it all up, flip and rotate it as it's in the fridge for a couple hours, but I didn't get those, so I'm doing it in this casserole dish. Now, what I have here is a half a cup of olive oil, which I got these at different stores. Some stuff came from HEB and some stuff came from Walmart. So you'll just have to, see which store has the better price. Unfortunately, olive oil, if you don't already have it at home for your cook, this was $3.24 for the bottle. So I'm gonna go ahead and pour this in over the meat. This is 2 tablespoons of soy sauce, low sodium. This came in at $1.58 at Walmart. I've got a tablespoon of ground coarse pepper, which I may end up adding more to this. Go ahead and just get this on here. Unfortunately, having it in this cup is making it come out in large sections, which is not what I wanted. I shouldn't have done it like that. That's all right. Now this, I used fresh limes and lemons. If you don't have one of these, you're gonna have to get one. If you don't want to do lemon and limes, that's fine. I cut them in half and I put them in here and squeeze them to get the juice out. So this is a half cup of lemon lime juice. Now I got a bag of limes at Walmart yesterday, 4 for $1. That was perfect. For the lemons, I got this at Walmart also. They had 5 or 6 lemons in here for $2.98. Now for your onion, those are inexpensive. I bought 2 onions because I like to clean the grate of the grill with a half cut onion. So I actually have 2. I think it was $1.25 for my onions. So I got these already diced up. This is a 1/4 cup worth. Go ahead and just get that in there. Okay, and now I've got to add, I'm gonna go by feel on this one. I'm gonna add this rub. I'm actually gonna go ahead and flip these. Add the rub. So I'm going to do this same process here with this smaller package for an individual cook. Your next step in this process is going to just be setting this in the fridge and letting this marinate work its magic. Try to set an alarm for about 3 hours at least. So I'm going to get this in the fridge, and I would say at the half point, go ahead and rotate this meat in there so that both sides are getting marinated. Well, that looks good. I know you can't smell this, but it smells good. Okay, so let's do the same process for this 3/4 of a pound. Not even going to cut it. I'm just going to lay it in there just like that. Going to do the same ingredients. My olive oil, soy sauce, pepper. That's probably too much for that one. And then my fresh squeezed lemon lime juice. Can't forget the onions. And then once again, my rub from Uncle Steve's Shake. Where's the opener? Let's put a coat on there. Go ahead and flip this. All right, so just like the other one that I put in the fridge, same thing. This will get 3-4 hours in marinating. I'll flip them. When I come back, we're gonna get onto the low budget Walmart grill that's about 20 bucks. That thing is actually pretty good for a little charcoal grill. Works great, campsites and stuff like that. So I'll show you the charcoal I got, which was on sale at HEB, and we'll get started on cooking these things. Be right back. All right, so it is a little bit past lunchtime. My family is hungry. I've got people over, extra family to indulge in this lunch. So these coals are pretty much ready to go. I'm gonna go ahead and get these in this charcoal bed here. Yeah, that's super hot. Now I like to give myself a safe space. Get these charcoals pushed to the front and leave this back area open. That is a extremely hot fire. These things ought to cook in no time. I also like to take an onion, Mother Nature's natural cleaner. Just do this over the grates. Reason I make this area back here a safe space is if I need to get this food out of the way for just a minute while I'm managing the meats or the fire, you can get back here and get cool. By the way, this is the charcoal I picked up. This was pretty cheap. Now, normally I don't use this. I use Kingsford, but HEB had a sale. This was $5.88 for this bag. So keeping in pace with our budget, this worked out pretty good. All right. Now, because this grill is so low, if you don't mind, I'm going to sit here in this chair and maintain it that way. Okay, so I've got the 2.4 pounds of meat out of the fridge, ready to go. Just going to set this here. These are going to go fast. This is definitely going to be the flip method. You can hear that sizzle. And really, for something like this, I don't even need the cover on because I'm going to be flipping these so often and keeping an eye on them. Leave the cover off. So we're going to go a minute. I'm going to flip them. All right, let's get our first flip going. Something I want to mention is when you're doing a marinade and that meat has absorbed all that stuff, when you pull it out of the fridge, it's all going to be wet on top on the surface. You want to kind of try to dry that up just a little bit with some paper towels. You don't want that to be completely soaked because that's going to cause a problem when you first put it on. It's going to be trying to cook that glaze. You want it to actually be starting on the meat first. In one of these, I'm going to take a little further into the cook. I'm going to get it
more well done. I've got some family members that want their stuff with almost no pink. That's just the way sometimes things go. But I've got one more piece back here, and then we've got that individual fajita that'll go on here after these. All right, we're going into our second flip. Starting to get a nice color. Now this side's flamed up, so I can actually pull this one off, move it, switch it out with this one. The way that you're going to maintain and figure out where you are in this cook is you're going to need one of these Insta-Read thermometers. Definitely want to invest in one of these. Go ahead and flip again. Flip again. Whew. I might rotate these. The temperature that I want to see for the ones that I like to eat, I want to be around 140 internal. We're sitting at 110, 156, and that's, I probably pushed too far. I'm into the flame. Running 106 over on that one. Low 100s. Okay. That's how you got to keep maintaining to see where you are in this cook. You're also going to be looking at this for a visual to start seeing this surface. You're going to want to see a little bit of a crust. Well, I wish you guys could be here with me right now. This stuff smells good. Any of the neighbors that are that way, I'm sure, are probably smelling this. I'm actually going to go ahead and put this one on because I've got enough space back here. This is a thinner cut of meat, so it shouldn't take as long. Ooh. Yeah, once you turn them over, that grease and everything likes to fall off and hit that and flare up. Yeah, that flare up gave me some char marks on this side, which is okay. You know, it's not burned, it's just charred. It's a good texture when it comes to fajita. So I've actually left it back on this side. Go ahead and flip this guy. Start getting some internal temp checks on those. So the two that we started with, I'm looking at 110. Yeah, this one's probably going to be coming off faster than the other one, which is okay. Not all meat cuts work the same. I'm going to cover this for just a few minutes. Try to get the temp where I want it. I'm going to go ahead and pull this one. Come here. Now this cut is the long cut that was for just feeding one person. This is definitely a thinner cut, so I'm going to have to watch this one closely. I'm going to go ahead and close this up. This one I'm actually going to take further because this is a thinner cut. My wife likes to eat stuff more well done. That's the one I'm going to do further into a temperature. Make sure that it's cooked all the way through. This one's running us around 146, so that one's done. What I'm going to do, I'm going to cover this back up, let that one cook, and give it 3 minutes like that. I'm going to go wrap these other ones up in aluminum foil. This one definitely shrunk in size. She's looking good. Okay, so this last skirt steak has had almost 5 minutes total. We're at 147 in some spots, 145, 141. You know, it depends on how far you're pushing this temp through the meat. You know, if you're getting too far into it, you're down into the flame, obviously it's going to be higher. So I'm just going to let this sit for just a couple more minutes. Well, don't you just love that sound? And the smell that's coming off of here is just so good. I'm starving. This can't go fast enough. 165. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this one. Hopefully this is cooked through to her liking. I'm just putting the cover on top, and I'm going to close the vent down and let that thing die out. I'll meet you back inside. Okay, so I let these sit for about 5 minutes in foil so they'll rest for just a minute, get all the sweat to come back out. I've already prepped a tortilla. These are the HEB tortillas that they make daily. This is actually a 20 count pack that I got at HEB. You won't need 20 count. I've got more people here today. That was actually $4.88. So you could probably cut that in half for a 10 count. So let me start getting cut into this. You want to go against the grain. So when I cut these earlier in the beginning, the meat ran this way. So I need to turn it. You want to start slicing these, you know, about like the thickness of a brisket, maybe a little bigger. You can do whatever you want, really. And I'm cutting these at an angle just to give you a little bit bigger piece of meat. All right. So I've already prepped myself a taco here. Now, you don't have to do this the way I did it. This has the red onions in it, crema, which I got from HEB also, and the cheese. This one is actually $4.09. This is not something you have to have. It's just what I prefer. So you can see in there, this stuff is definitely juicy. It looks great. I'll go ahead and get myself just 2 pieces. Okay, 3. Wrap this up. Get the old taste test going here. It definitely has a lot of flavor. I'm actually going to try this without any of the taco just to see what the marinade turned out to be. Okay, so this is just the marinade. Oh man, full of juice, perfect flavor. Well, I've got family over. I hope this helped everyone on a budget, depending on how many people you're cooking for. I'll have the total prices at the very end. I'm Todd with Lone Star Smoked Barbecue. We'll see you next time.